Elin, we're gonna come over to you. So how can the Norwegian, Nordic, and European esports federations increase inclusivity and representation for female athletes?
I think just by the nature of esports in itself, because it's not based on any usual like physical differences. It's played with a keyboard and a computer or a PlayStation or a console or a mobile phone. So the physical differences aren't as important in esports. And I think that's also one of the reasons why esport is growing so fast in these days on a global level, because it's a good activity that almost anyone can join into. But we do face some unique challenges. As I mentioned, these are video games, these are games. It's the IP, the intellectual property of someone else. Someone else basically owns our activity. And as Sarah mentioned earlier, it's extremely important to collaborate with all the stakeholders in those cases. So not just the federations, the players, the athletes, etc., but also the people that actually creates these products that we use. So I think that's going to be an important step going forward is to bridge that gap. And we're also seeing a lot of big strides because it's young and it's mainly driven by a lot of young people uh, that are not very patient. They've been taking like big strides already. I can mention like one of my pro pro team clubs in Norway. They recently hired or engaged a female player coming from the women's league into their main team, and she's now playing in a top tier division with the rest of the men on the team. So the strides are bigger, but there's still issues that we're facing. The same, I guess, that is similar to like traditional sports. The typical gatekeeping. I'm sure, Celia, you met a lot of those in your time. And also Sarah, I can imagine when you also started out. So those are still there, but the changes are made way faster uh, due to the nature of the sport. In Norway, most of the member clubs or the clubs are actually sports clubs, traditional sports clubs,
Mm.
like football club, skiing, whatever. But they also have an esports activity because they see it keeps the youth still connected to the club. And that's important. Even if they don't compete in football anymore or skiing or handball, they will still have a connection to the club and they will still come and do an activity at the club. And when they feel ready for it, they will go back to this physical sport. But that's I think, a big factor, as Sarah mentioned, like why we want to keep them in the sport also. We don't want to miss out on like half the population, etc., because we want to be gatekeeping something.
Why is this conference different? How is this going to create a lasting impact? And I don't want to put any of you on the spot. So for any of you that want to answer, please do.
I just want to add in that what we're looking for is lasting changes, right? For women and girls in sports. And to get there, we have to give them opportunities. Celia is the perfect example. She talked about it a lot. I can tell you it's the same in esports. It's about the amount of opportunities given for young athletes or even in leadership positions. And we need to actually have concrete activities and ideas on how we implement this in different cultures across borders, etc. And this is what we want to do at the conference in Oslo in March. We want to have the talk and see how we can create those changes, lasting changes, and create new opportunities. Because clearly, what we have done already, it works somewhat, but there's still a really long way to go for all of us.